What is freaking up? My name is Eve.
My name is Sarah.
And the topic of the day is everything spooky season. Fall. Autumnal. The leaves are changing.
Some people say Christmas is the most wonderful time in the fall. I call that fall.
Any cold month to me is the top tier month. I find like anything but summer. I'm not a summer person. I like my hair dark. I like the pale. Thank you.
I saw this TikTok the other day where this girl was asking, like, so there's fall girlies and there's Halloween girlies. But is there girlies who like both? And I'm like, yeah, me. I like both of them.
So there's a very specific way that you could determine if someone is a Halloween person or like a seasonal person.
Okay.
Doesn't involve with both. What do you call the season? Do you call it autumn or fall?
I call it both, to be honest. I usually say autumn for September, and I say fall for October.
So if you're you're fall, you're into Halloween. If you're autumn, you're into the aesthetic of fall.
Okay, so that makes sense, because in September, I'm all about fall. And then as soon as it hits October 1st, I'm like, it's fucking Halloween month.
Yes.
Fuck Thanksgiving. All about Halloween.
So the first question is, we're in Canada, so...
Oh, yeah, not to be confusing. Our Thanksgiving in Canada is in October, and it's generally like the first or second weekend of the month. I know anybody who's listening in America that it is in November.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is also super confusing because every time it's Thanksgiving here, I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be Black Friday. And then I was like, wait, Thanksgiving?
You gotta wait a month.
Obviously, the first question that I had was, how does the season make you feel? I love autumn so much. It just invokes joy.
It invokes full joy with me. The only thing is the area in which we live in, it doesn't go full send until like right near the end of September. So I want to like whip out the hoodies, the sweaters, all the other stuff. I started drinking tea 2 weeks ago, like every evening. And my husband's like, are we doing this? I'm like, oh, we sure as fuck are. And I pulled out my dog Halloween mug.
Oh my god, yes.
Drinking out of it. It's so cute. And he's like, so we're doing this? I'm like, oh yeah. And even our kid's like, can I have some lemon tea? I'm like, you sure can. Because it gets like chilly at night. I think that's my favorite. It's because I sleep so much better when it's like cooler at night. Except the fucking forecast keeps lying. It says, okay, so it's going to be a low of 9 and a high of 23. Fuck you. It has literally been 30 degrees and then it drops down to 5 at night. I'm like, what the hell?
I don't know. There's like, if there's just something that comes out. Like, you know, people are like, August 24th is like pumpkin spice season.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just telling
Sarah, my husband.
I was just telling Sarah this. I haven't had coffee this morning. So if you listen to the previous episode and you hear yawns in the background, it's probably me.
Oh, I drank my coffee really early in the morning because we're back to school. Not me, but my child.
Me neither.
And we have a new routine this year. And it's just like adjusting to it and figuring stuff out. And like I said, it's still warmer. So like I still want the iced coffee. But then I'm kind of leaning into wanting warm coffee.
Yeah. It's also super weird because like when I get up early for work, I like have to put on a sweater and then I go into work and then I have to take the sweater off. And I'm like, but I want to be cozy. But I go out for lunch and I'm like, it's like 30 degrees.
Oh, 110%. I think one thing, I know some people don't like it, but I like when it starts getting darker at night.
Oh my god, I love when it's like 5:30 and like the sun is setting and I have just eaten dinner and I am sitting on the couch in a blanket and I'm just drinking tea and I'm like, I can go to bed right now.
Okay, I love you. That's a little bit too early for me. I like a solid like 7 where it starts getting darker, and then that way it's like significantly darker by 7:30. That's just like me in general.
I like the lull time. So like it's like 5:30, the sun starts to go. But like from 5:30 to 7:30, it's still going down.
That's true. I only like when it starts, like, I think I like it where it's not like taking forever, where it just kind of goes boom, because that's like, I've always felt like that. But even now as like a parent, I'm like, hey, it's like 7:30, it's time to go to bed. Try telling any child under the age of 10 that they need to go to bed during the summertime or whatever, and say,
oh my god, when the sun's up.
but the sun is still out. Why am I going to bed? Oh, this sucks. And you have to have blackout curtains, and it's just like a whole thing. So I feel like,
and then she's too hot, and then she's like sweating, and then she wakes up in the middle of the night. And like, I don't even have a child, but I just adopt this child as mine.
I have a funny question for you, and I didn't think of this until my husband actually said it to me. When do you think of the year starting? Do you think September 1st or do you think January 1st?
I don't think of the year starting. My brain thinks in 6 months.
Yeah.
So January to June and then July to December.
Okay.
So like from January to June is like there's not a ton of birthdays after like March.
Yeah.
And so it's like pretty chill. And then like July to December is like, if I could state these in cities, like January to June is like small town vibes.
Mm-hmm.
While like July to December is like New York. So it's like everybody's freaking going a mile a minute. And then it's like December, end of December, people are like, oh my God, I'm going to settle down. And then it's January 1st and everybody's like, oh my God, I'm so motivated.
Yeah, which is
how my brain works.
Yeah. I don't do like New Year's resolutions and stuff like that, but my husband noticed that like I'm not just gearing like our daughter to go to school.
Oh, yeah.
And like start things like I'm like, oh, like I fucking hate my clothes. I need different clothes. Or not because the internet's telling me that. I'll be like, oh, I need a different vibe. Or I'm like, man, I was too fucking hot last year. I need to make sure that I have like different layers. Or I was too damn cold. Like there was the year that we moved here, it was one of the coldest years that we'd had. And it went to like -35. And I was not prepared for that. My clothing was like cute fall aesthetic Vancouver City. And I needed like fucking ski resort.
Oh my God, it was so funny. Eve, do you have another sweater? Eve, I need another one. And the amount of times, because Sarah comes over each day, the amount of times that I walk into the house and this woman's wearing my sweater and I'm like, you have your own. And you're like, it's not the right level.
At the right level. Ooh, I bought those like comfies though. Those things are fucking. I just love like the coziness, and I know that's like a thing that everybody talks about, but I like the coziness. Another thing that I really like is you have a lot more opportunities to like bake things because it's really fucking hot where we live in the summer.
Well, like, let's be honest, Canada really owns the identity of seasons.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, when, like, the California queens are like, it's fall, and it's still 30. Like, we could go from, like, 42 degrees Celsius weather to, like, a solid 10 in, like, a week, and we think it's normal. Like, I don't think a lot of people have seasonal, like, it's, like, there's definite, like, changes. So, like, September 21st, it's fall.
Yeah.
Canada knows it's fall. The leaves have changed. Everybody's cold. There's a brisk wind. But the day before, it could be warm and no leaves have changed.
I know it's really funny how it just like randomly changes like that, but it's like, I love that. I love not just having like the same season, but the temperature of the rain changes.
Oh, the temperature of the rain.
Yeah, there's nothing like that. The only thing though is like I have the hardest time sometimes finding things that are cozy.
So we purchased our leggings in bulk.
Yeah.
Specifically black ones. And I follow the Costco website. Like, even you can ask Jen, her best friend. I follow that website, and they had an amazing deal on spider leggings. I'm currently wearing a pair. And I was like, oh my God, Sarah, we can buy our leggings. Because Sarah and I have a really hard time, well, more Sarah than I, of finding leggings that don't go see-through.
Yeah, but and then you have to like, no matter if they're the really expensive ones or the ones that you get they're on sale for $12, even if they're not see-through, because of how often and how many seasons we can wear them in, what happens is, and also like we go to the gym too, so like it's not just like everyday use, like it's like there's other uses for them as well, obviously, but you got to replace them like every like 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Because they might work for somebody else, but they get to a point where they do no longer work for me. So I don't throw stuff in the garbage. I always like donate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did our mass order.
So total, I purchased 5 black pears.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah purchased 4 black pears.
5 black pears, 2 pairs of camo.
2 pairs of camo.
Oh, you're making a face. I feel like maybe the order was incorrect. That is fine.
But the order came. And so I also order you can get 3 packs of Puma sports bras online.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing time. Very comfortable. And so when the box comes and there's like 11 pairs of leggings in this one box, and our mom got a pair too, so there was like 12.
Yeah.
And when the delivery man handed it to me, he was like, oh, like, don't mind me asking, like, what's in here? And I was like, it's fall season. These are our leggings. And the face this man gave me was like, it's like he was like, yeah, that's justified. I find that, like, I have 2 very, like, I don't wear jeans. I have leggings, biker shorts, and, like, sweatpants and sweatshirts. I don't wear jeans. They're just too constricting.
I have jeans, but they have to fit a very specific way. And I've been really lucky to find them at, like, Old Navy. And I've gotten them. My favorite pair of jeans cost me $2.77 because of, like, discounts that they had going on, and they were return clearance. Also because they have tall sizes.
Oh my God, it's so great.
My ankles have never been warmer.
What is, like, one of your favorite things to do in autumn or fall?
Oh, I love me a pumpkin patch.
Oh, I love a pumpkin patch.
I love going for, like, family walks along the lake.
Oh,
They're like just doing that, and your kid's like riding a bike, a scooter, or even just like walking. Like, I just love that because you're not getting sweaty and you're outside. The air is just like so crisp. I love storms. I love storms and thunder and lightning when I don't have to worry about the area that I live in catching on fire.
I feel like the vibe, like, summer rain's fun because you can, like, run out in the rain. Fall rain is, like, sit and watch it fall and drink a cup of tea. And, like, I sound like an old woman every time.
No, I'm laughing because when I can't fall asleep and when my kid can't fall asleep, I'm like, Alexa, please put on
Rain on a Tin Roof.
Rain on a Tin Roof, because that's the noise I think of.
Oh my God.
It's like camping noise, like rain hitting a tent.
Super random. Have you heard brown noise?
Brown noise. Okay, I think I've done that one.
So there's a lot of different ones. Brown noise is like, it hits different. And I don't know, like autumn blocks. I feel like when it hits autumn, there's like just like a new vibe that like embarks into us, and we're like, we must go for a walk daily.
Also, like, I want to do hobbies because I usually have like a little bit more time on my hands because, you know, my kids at school and stuff like that. And
do you feel like you get less overwhelmed when you want to try to do those hobbies in the fall? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, I totally do, because I feel like there's so much that goes on in the summertime, but it's also like, I feel like the summer is so busy but so chill at the same time. That's the best way I can explain it. And then I feel like with like fall, maybe when fall starts, like structure when it comes to stuff. There's like birthdays. All of our family's birthdays are like, we have a lot that are sprinkled throughout the year, but so many of them are from like September to January. Actually, September to February. I'll include my husband. Whoops, sorry, Ben, if you're listening.
It's September to
my brain just dropped right off. It just brings me joy. I like the fall. I like the winter. But I said the other day, I was like, I think I love all the times of the year, but I think my top favorite are like fall and spring. Because fall, I'm like getting cooler and cozy. And spring is like that glorious time where you're like, oh my God, the sun is out. The birds are singing. There's flowers. I can wear color. We're coming out of winter. Like, it's just great because you're like gearing up. And you have this really like delusional idea of what warmth is. Like when it's 10 degrees in the fall, you're like, Burr, it's cold outside. Let me throw on my jacket with my jeans and my cute boots. But when it's 10 degrees in spring, you're like, I'm whipping out my shorts, bitch. I've got my light crew neck weight sweater on, and I'm going to wear sandals. No, like, it's 10 degrees on 2 different levels.
My favorite thing, though, is that like, so I think it would have been last year. We went to a pumpkin patch, and
Oh, yeah.
we were so keen. We're like, we're gonna look great. It's gonna be so cute. We were great. We lasted a solid 30 minutes until Sarah and I had to go to the car and switch outfits because we were sweating.
Okay, yeah. So I was wearing like a t-shirt, a lightweight hoodie, and then I had like a jacket over top. And then Eve was wearing
I was wearing a black tank top with a jacket and like
a thick one.
a thick jacket. Because you know what the weather told me? The weather told me it was going to be 15 degrees. And we were there for 30 minutes. I had a bite of a delicious cinnamon sugar donut. And I was like, Sarah, I need less layers. But it was too cold for me to just wear the tank top. I
Yeah.
had to borrow the light sweater that she was wearing over underneath her jacket. So then half of the pictures that we took there, we were in very aesthetic outfits. The other half, we just looked like we switched outfits.
Well, and that was the funny thing is it's just like it was so hot, but the breeze was so crisp. Like there was like no winning. Danielle was like in her outfit the whole time, and she's like, "It's so cold. It's so fall." And I was like, "Really? I'm sweating my ass off right
Oh
now."
my God. My biggest pride was when we walked into the pumpkin patch and I was like, is this the first time your child has entered a pumpkin patch? And she's like, yes, hand me your phone.
Yeah.
You must have pictures among the vines for the pumpkin.
Oh my God, I fucking loved that place. The last time I went to a pumpkin patch before that, it was a fucking nightmare. It was in the Lower Mainland, and there was like, I'm not even kidding you, they didn't have proper parking. There was like 5,000 people who went, and we didn't even go on like a popular weekend. So we ended up taking pictures on hay bales in the front with the pumpkins, and then everything else was like booked up or everything. And I was like, this is a lot. Let's just take cute aesthetic pictures with like the barn, the hay, and the pumpkins. And Char was little, so we did that. Oh, actually, no, that's a total lie. We went to the pumpkin patch one time for Jen's daughter's birthday. That was fun. It was so muddy, though. It was so muddy. I had to wear my winter boots, but we got to do these like slingshot. They gave you like little tiny pumpkins, and you can do like a slingshot, and there was like a hay ride, which, yeah, I think that was like my favorite. It's very like when you think of fall and you think of the cute fall signs and you think of like a Hallmark fall movie,
Oh, yeah.
or you think of Gilmore Girls, it's that place. And I was like, oh my God, I love it here.
Do you want to die of laughter? So, last night I was doing my hair. I was bleaching and dyeing my own hair, as I do. And I was like, I opened the window a little bit. I was like, let's hold first. I started watching Gilmore Girls again. And I was like, I was on winter and I was like, this just does not suit my fancy right now. I want it to be fall.
Oh my
But of course, fall is the last one. So I like was going through winter and I was just like doing it. But I was like, it's happening.
I know. I'm also not like I'm not obsessed and like in love with fall and Halloween because my birthday's in October, but I just feel like it's the right time of the year for me.
I feel like for me, it's like the filter on life. So like summer's really bright and like because I've had a lot of concussions, bright lights and shininess like really bother me.
Yeah.
And also everything's neon and everybody's really loud. So I feel like
And like drunk.
and
A
drunk.
lot of people
So
are
like
drunk.
summer, I feel like there's not a lot of things that bring me joy because there's a lot of people and it's a very saturated time.
I also live in a resort town, so that makes sense.
True. But like I feel like when it gets to September, it kind of like quiets down.
Yeah.
The colors are quite dim. You can put a lamp on and like you can say, oh yeah, I spent this weekend crocheting, or I spent this weekend doing this.
When it's like crisp outside and we have like one of those propane fire pits, and sometimes we'll just like sit outside with our friends with like Mac jackets or hoodies on, and we're just like hanging out outside. We live next door to two of our friends, and our kids are friends and stuff like that. And then one of our other friends will come over, and that part's fun. Or like when we come here and we have a fire, we do like s'mores, like roasted marshmallows.
Oh my God, it would have been a couple years ago. My mom and I didn't want to make
It was
True. Was it last year?
Yeah.
We didn't mind me Thanksgiving dinner. So we said that we were going to have a weenie roast, and it was literally the best Thanksgiving ever, and nobody felt gross.
Nobody felt gross. That was the funny thing is we were like it kind of gets to like a point in your life where you realize, oh, this sounds like a conspiracy theory, but like where you realize how much like consumerism and like emphasis of certain things that you need to have. And then you realize like, I don't need to have that. Like, I don't need to have the 15-pound turkey in my life at every family event.
But it just makes you so like, there's a lot of foods that surround holidays like this that I can't eat large amounts of because my tum-tum just don't like it. But like, I sat back and I was like, maybe this year we'll do like fancy sandwiches. Like we could still cook the turkey and have like turkey sandwiches. But it was just like we just sat outside and we just hung out and it was so lovely. Like we weren't sitting elbow to elbow, like don't touch my corn.
And you're like sweating in a sweater because there's so many people in the house and it's loud and like all that other stuff, right? I mean, honestly, nothing has hit as good as my husband brined a turkey and then smoked it. And it's the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. But I mean, like, if you gave me some gravy and if you gave me a tray of stuffing and some cranberry sauce, I know it sounds weird, but like you mix it all together and it's just fucking delicious.
Oh, I love doing the like mash pot. So you said like you like crafting a lot more in the autumn? In the autumn.
Like you said, I feel like there's a lot less obligations or like, I don't know if you would call it fear of missing out when it comes to that. And you're like, oh, I can sit inside. And like, sometimes this is like when I'll pick up, I used to pick up a book, I should say. Sometimes this is when I'll like listen to stuff more. I do more like audio books and stuff now because that's where my attention span is at. But yeah, like those little things or where you're picking up something new or learning something new. I don't know. I feel like it's easier because there's less like noise. Just the best way to say it.
And I just feel like with summer, like that kind of like you kind of feel guilty if you're not outside.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I'm way more productive between the months of September and March or like April. As soon as it turns to summer, I'm just like, I just feel like, oh, well, there's a lot of limitations. So it's like, oh, it's really hot outside. I can't do that right now, but I can't do that in the house.
Oh, 100%. There's like I said, baking is one. Like I love to bake and I'll like pin stuff or save stuff on TikTok that I want to make. And then I'm like, oh, if I make that, I better get up at the ass crack of dawn to make it because it's going to be 40 degrees today. Like there's, like you said, there's certain times where I feel like I'm more of like a June, early July lover in our area for summer. And then I don't know what happens in August, but it just is too hot. Like your sweat has sweat.
No, like the last week of July is like terrible. Like it goes up to like 42.
Yeah.
And then it's like August, it's not 42, but it's like 38 the whole month. There's a very specific reason why I prefer colder months than hot months. There's only so many layers of clothing that you can take off in the summer.
Oh, 100%. Like until you're walking around like buck-ass nude, but you can, I like the ability.
Which we do not do.
No, I like the ability to like add layers.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh, okay, well, it's a little bit colder today. I'll wear a hoodie or, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I've got a hoodie and I've got a cute jacket over top, like stuff like that. I feel like I put a lot more effort into the way that I look until it gets below -20. That I'm wearing could be the ugliest effing stuff to stay warm.
But also, do you feel like, I feel like this is, it might be you too, but like the self-image thing, like in the summer, you usually wear like, I don't want to say a lot less clothing, but like you wear shorts and like a tank top. And I am not super comfortable with my body. So like when I wear them, I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like uncomfortable. But in the winter time, I could be wearing a sweater and sweatpants and I'm like, you can't see my body.
Oh, okay. That was me when I was in high school. In some cases, I do that. It depends on the day, especially if I'm about to get my period. I'm like, I'm a huge blob. Don't put that on. Then I'm like, oh no, I didn't do laundry and I only have shirts with built-in bras and they're like crop tops. Okay, I gotta put on the jean overalls. There's a lot more like strategic thinking when it comes to the outfit sometimes. Also, when it comes to like how I have my hair, like I have a thing. I'll want to have my hair down in the summertime, but I can't. It's so sweaty.
It's so hot. Like change my like room decor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It is so much fun. It is like let's all be honest, it started with mom. Mom pulls out that fall box. It hits September 1st. The pumpkin comes out. You just see a glimmer in her face and she's like, it's time to decorate. And like you got pumpkins everywhere. And like it's like delicately placed things. Like she likes to have themed decor.
Yeah, but it's not like excessive clutter. So she'll like reuse things where she'll have the same 3 frames on the wall, but she'll change the pictures in those frames. Like she's always done that where it's very subtle, very like cute, but like somehow it completely transforms the room. And she's done that ever since like I was little too. So when do you think you want to get the fall box? And my kid has like 15 to 20 pumpkins that she's picked up over the years, and she just loves putting them like around her room. But we start doing like little things like that, and then we'll decorate for Halloween. And it's so funny because we'll go from like fall, and then we'll add some Halloween stuff, and then we'll take some of the fall stuff away when it starts getting like closer. So it's like spookier Halloween. And we make sure that we have like fun things in the yard. Like everything's dead in the yard by the time we have it. So we'll stick up like the gravestones with like the hands coming out and have like a spooky pumpkin and stuff like that. And then
I am huge into switching out my bedding for like every season. Why is there no cute fall bedding? I don't want orange. I want like cute little pumpkins or like maybe those little ghosts that like we were doodling earlier today.
Yeah.
And like have those on bed sheets and stuff like that. Why is it all like orange?
There is so much ugly bedding out there.
And I'm just like, I would just like an adorable like aesthetic, like Gilmore Girls, like maybe little coffee cups or like pumpkin spice lattes or like any of those types of things. There is none. I have looked everywhere.
See, like there's things like that are cute, but I know what you mean is just like changing out those like everyday use things and making that little bit of a difference. Oh, like I changed my throw pillow covers.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. It changes the room, especially if you don't want to paint it a signature color or if you're unable to because of like renting or anything like that. It just kind of gives it like an extra spark. I also feel like I'm like more creative, maybe because I'm not sweating my ass off. I feel like I'm more creative from like September to like Christmas.
I say that I have seasonal affective disorder in the summer. So
That is a thing.
I am overstimulated. I'm overwhelmed. It's too hot. There's too many things going around all the time.
You're overwhelmed?
Yep.
Exciting news. Overwhelmed the label. A lot of creative, unique designs leading into neurodiverse and neurospicy needs, all created by us. So come hop on over to Overwhelm the Label on Instagram, Facebook, and on the TikTok. He's so excited.
Must have burnt out. It's like so many things all at once, and it's like I just can't. Like, I can't focus on doing anything. And so, like, the things that I want to do, I'm like, I can't do that because it's too hot. I can't do that because of this. So then I put it off, and then it's fall, and I'm like, well, I wanted to do that, but I didn't do it.
Oh my God, you know what my other favorite thing is?
What?
I love, like, October series that's on
Spooky series?
Spook series for unsolicited advice.
Oh my God.
Like, when the podcast, like, kind of, like, changed their themes, I absolutely adore that. So they have like people submit like spooky like real life stories or like weird dreams and stuff like that they have. Like I thrive. Also, I get the shit scared out of me and then I usually have to like watch or listen to something funny after, even though like I love scary movies, but like there's something just about like listening to it.
Well, like I feel like a lot of the movies that we watch like are kind of that vibe.
Yeah.
Like I love the Halloween Towns and like the good old classic Disney Channel movies.
Oh yeah, I love the cheese. The cheese. Like I've already watched all of the Halloween Town movies. It was like the week before school and my daughter was like, "Mom, it's chilly outside. We should watch Halloween."
By chilly outside, it's like a solid 3 to
Oh yeah. I've already watched Hocus Pocus. What else have I watched? Oh, I watched Scream 6.
Yeah.
Oh, I started watching that Renfield movie. I haven't finished it yet. I might have to restart it. It has Nicolas Cage in it. He plays like Dracula. And then there's that guy from he was in X-Men New First Class.
Oh, the guy who
Beast. Yeah. So there's I started watching that. I feel like the stuff that comes out is a lot more for me that's in the theaters around this time, or things that are released on like streaming services, versus I feel like the summertime, for obvious reasons, there's a lot more like kid stuff that comes out. Oh, except for the superhero movies that come out. I love those and I want more. But I feel like the vibe is more like family, and then when it gets in, it's more like, oh, I'm gonna watch this like once I put my kid to bed and she's asleep, and I'll do a craft, I'll drink some tea, and I'll watch this scary ass movie.
I feel like movies too are easier to like, not easier to watch, but like I'm more likely to sit down, drink a cup of tea, and watch a movie in the fall than in the summer, because it's kind of like the same thing. It's like I guess if you went to like a movie theater, it's different.
Oh, sometimes you go to the movie theater just to escape the warmth.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love movie theater popcorn.
It's the best.
My favorite show to watch in the fall though, Gilmore Girls.
I like to rewatch. I would totally. I've rewatched like Gilmore Girls and stuff like that. I haven't been like in a rewatching mood. I really funny because I don't like. I always lean more towards watching like content creator stuff. Like I'll watch like YouTube, and then I'll watch like traditional movies of like that area and like anything new that comes out. But other than that, like I don't have cable. I don't like sit and watch TV. Sometimes I'll just have random shit like playing in the background while I'm doing stuff. But I haven't been like that for a while, and it's kind of weird.
I understand the content creation ones. I find that like that's why I love like Christmas and winter, because there's like Vlogmas, so you can watch something every day. I feel like if there was something like September Ween or October Ween,
Yeah.
for something like that, I'd be way more into like watching a lot more. Zoella did Augustmas, and I loved it. I felt like it was great. You could see a different perspective. I feel like in the fall, people are like, oh, I'm gonna go to the pumpkin patch. I'm like, oh, I want to go to the pumpkin patch, right? I'm gonna watch you decorate your room for fall. And like all of those types of things, I feel like I'm way more keen to watching, like as I'm crocheting. Like currently, I finished my Daisy blanket last month for summer, and currently I'm working on a sunflower blanket that is going to be quite large because I used an upper hook and figured out how to make a sunflower, and the sunflower is huge. So I'm working on that, but I'm like sitting there like crocheting and stuff like that, and I'm watching someone decorate their room, and I'm like, like hand me a cup of tea. I am a happy woman today.
I know, and I think I get more like focused on. Oh, well, I think I know more. I 100% get way more focused on like deep cleaning my house.
I love it.
Oh, I love it. I do it seasonally. I always change out my clothes depending on like the season, but I'll always keep like an overlapping amount. Like I know last year I did it way too early because I got way too excited for fall, and then I put away a bunch of stuff, and then I was sweating my ass off. So I've decided that I won't really do that till like October 1st, because that's when it starts being like consistently cooler.
I feel like though, like for the past couple of years, like since you moved up here, I would come over like right around season change.
Yeah.
And I don't know what would bring up, and it would just be like, I want to switch on my clothes. And then I would sit on your bed and you would clean your clothes.
But I think the other reason why is because like it's like it is body doubling. But the other thing is I'm like, oh, there's somebody else who may benefit from these clothes. There may have been something that she has not told me that she likes, and then I put it in the pile, and she's like, I'm taking this. And the funny thing is like it's kind of like whoever's there, because one or two times it's been like our other sister, and she's been there and she goes through, so it's kind of like first dibs. Unlike I know specifically that someone's like, if you ever get rid of that bitch, I want that. I'm like, oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
But usually I'll write like the first letter of someone's name in it, so that way I know if I'm gonna get rid of it. It's like knowing that it benefits somebody else. I don't have to like take it to the thrift store, have to do any of this other stuff. So it usually goes through 1 to 2 people sometimes. Or even like my friend Christy, who's another tall girl, part of the tall girl club. She will be like, oh yeah, what are you getting rid of? Because we have a very like similar style. She's a little bit, I don't know, I would say like she dresses a little bit more like rocky, or a little bit sometimes like more edgy than I do, but we're right along the same vibes. We have the same size feet, so it's kind of like, oh, I have this brand new shoes I've never worn. oh, I love those brownie shoes. I will take them. Oh, okay, perfect.
Which is nice. And I feel like there's a lot of different things that you can like wear during the season that it's like, oh, well, if it's like slightly warmer out, I'm gonna wear biker shorts, but I'm gonna wear a comfy crew neck.
Yeah.
Or like it's
Like
a
today, what I'm
switch.
literally wearing right now is a hoodie, biker shorts, and like a baggy AC/DC t-shirt. And I'm wearing sneakers because it's cracked heel season for this girl, and I'm gonna be wearing shoes.
On that note, though, the one thing that I really don't enjoy about fall and it's more in spring is I have peeling hands.
So does my husband, and so does my kids.
Oh my god, there's a name of it, and it's like aclonophodia or something.
I don't know. I just say you guys are sloughing.
And it's literally like, it's so, like, when it gets really bad, it is so painful.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's like, essentially the whole palm of my hand peels.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. There's, like, no reason for it. It just happens. But, like, my hands are always soft then.
Well, and that's the funny thing is like, there's always like the good and the bad when it comes to stuff. Fall and spring may be my favorite things. I have wicked seasonal allergies. So like, as everything dies off and as there's more moisture, there's spores, there's like all this other stuff going on. I have to like make sure that I have like my hardcore meds, or I'll have like hives and stuff like that. And the same goes for the spring. Like, you'll know when it's spring because all feeling like this, unless I've taken all of the stuff that I need to take. It's funny that those are the times where I have those things, but that's not the number one thing that I think of. I think of all of the other things. I feel like it's more, like you said, like family, cozy vibes, like trivia nights, game nights, like stuff like that.
I love when your kid's off and we can like go for walks and I'm like, bye, we're going for walks.
Yeah.
And it's like she doesn't hit that part at the end where she's like,
I'm dying.
eh.
And that's literally
It's like
annoying.
it's every kid does it. It's like the block, you can see your destination and it's like
The body just gets
tired. And I'm like, come on, honey. But it's like full time, it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna show mom the leaf that I found.
Yeah.
And that's like, wonderful. Let's keep walking so I don't have to carry you. Thank you. Mine too with fall, like I get into my like the baking mood.
Yeah. I
Um
baked muffins this morning.
oh my God, I woke up there with muffins. How's that? What? I also like feel like this is like your husband's favorite season too, because he'll come show up and I'm like, Ben, I made this random item, and he's like, oh my God, yay.
Oh, I know. And like he loves, his big thing is like he's just jonesing. Him and my kid are jonesing for that Costco pumpkin pie. I do like the Costco one. Like I don't mind it. I will say though that mom's is my favorite.
So I've been talking to mom, and I think like probably when it gets a little bit colder, I'm gonna make hand pies. Like, buy hand pies.
Yeah, nice.
Because like I love things in a pocket form.
I just love small amounts of things.
Exactly. Like I can have like snacking forever.
Fall and spring, you can kind of eat anything from like making a crock pot meal to
Caesar
making-
salad.
to barbecuing to anything like that. Like you know what I mean? I feel like it's like a lot more versatile when it comes to stuff. In the summertime, sometimes it's so hot. I'm like, I just don't want to make food. Who wants hot dogs?
I don't know. It's just a vibe. Like there is something about like eating a warm meal and then watching like Super Bowl like football on Sunday.
Yeah, there's like, yeah, it's just something different. You don't feel like you're missing out on the world outside.
Exactly. Like, and like there's so many different niches of fall. Like you could be the pumpkin person who wants to do that. You could be like, you want to have coffee. You can have like so many different opportunities that you can do things. Like, a question: why is everything a freaking era? I'm gonna sound like Laura DIY, but I'm fucking tired of.
Okay, no, I thought I was the only person. Like, there's so many people. I honestly think this all sparked because of the marketing genius of Taylor Swift. But it's like, everybody's like, oh my God, I'm in my fitness era. I don't understand. And I don't understand why everything needs to be an era. I know there's different seasons. I know there's different phases. I feel like this is the new slang word for phase, a different focus. But like, era just sounds so like grinding.
Well, you can change over the years, like over the year.
Or like you're evolving.
No, like, but when people are like, I'm in my depressed era.
Sad.
What?
Okay, So I did this for fun. I looked up the meaning of era. Like you know what it is. The actual meaning is a long and distinct period of history with a particular feature or characteristic. I feel like it's one of those words that's just being like overused.
Oh my God. And then like 2-3 months later, it'll be like, death is not cool anymore. I feel like if I was in my era right now, I am in David from Schitt's Creek era because I make the same faces as that man and I make the same noises of like, no.
Oh my God, on our Instagram, you should totally share that thing that Mom sent you.
Fall time, I feel like, is the time where I can binge watch shows and I'm like in the vibe. The only show that I watched during the summer, it was the summer I turned pretty, and I had already read the books because I wanted to know the ending. But like fall time, it's like reality shows come out. So like Love is Blind comes out September 22nd, and I'm like, I will totally be watching that. And like I can watch them and I'm like immersed in them. Or you have like a fall playlist playing and it's like Noah, oh my God, I'm gonna say it's Konak. Dial Drunk. I showed you the song with Post Malone.
Oh yeah.
And like Ed Sheeran and like all of that. Like
speaking of it, Ed Sheeran came with a new album called Autumn.
I'm so fucking up.
I love him. We're big fans.
My God,
whole house.
Does that mean that he's gonna come out with a winter album?
I think so. So you know how you went through all the mathematical
yeah.
So he said that there's like this specific theory that someone brought forward where it's like he's doing it where it's 14 songs with or about 14 different friends.
Oh.
And like different parts in their lives and stuff like this. And he's like, over. And then I was just like, okay, so if he's coming out with an autumn album, I mean, he had addition, subtraction, multiplication.
Like he has to come out with winter.
Oh, yeah. I also love getting all the tips from the other parents who have kids with fall birthdays. Seeing all like the fun things that you can do in the fall and winter.
Okay, just fall. Let's be honest. Being born in the winter sucks.
Yeah, but like just like the creative things that people think of like going to and everything. Like this weekend, Charlie's going to like a rustic chalk painting sign.
Oh my God! I love that place.
Oh, that's the cool thing is like I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like one time we did like the ceramics place for her birthday. There's just it's like thinking of other things outside of like what the usual norm is in our place, which is like one of those giant play places or
like pool, bowling.
We don't even go to the pool because the kids are so little right now. They're not.
Well, I was just like,
but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like bowling stuff like that. Like we did bowling last year. That was a big hit. It was like having a rave with like 6-year-olds because it was like the bright lights, the lasers and everything. And I was like, oh, this is a lot. And we invited like everybody who was in town. And there was a lot of people there. And I just remember like the moms being like, don't worry, we're not leaving you. We're going to stay here. Like, we've got you. And I was like, oh my God, I love you guys so much. Thank you.
You know, on that note, we're going to go get coffee.
You stay as warped and twisted as ever.
Peace.